Hello my friends. So today's video is about the third eye. So I want to share with you 5 signs of a third eye awakening, signs that you may not even notice because they're signs that I didn't notice. There's lots of signs, but I'm only going to share 5 that I have experienced. They don't go in any specific order because if you didn't even know that it was a sign, you probably wasn't paying attention to it. So how do you even know which one you had first? So it's not any specific order. It's just 5 of them that I noticed that I didn't notice at the time that I felt it. Number 1 would be heightened concentration and focus. So you'll realize that you just start paying attention more. You start paying attention to your surroundings more. You just start looking more and start noticing things more. And this is how sometimes you may go ahead and start noticing the number synchronicities, because now you are actually just paying attention. You're just looking around more and you're noticing everything around you now. I went a couple of weeks ago, I went to drop my youngest off to daycare. And as I was leaving the daycare, I was sending out this prayer to the higher powers, to the universe, just asking for courage, asking for my vibration to be raised, and just to be able to continuously move forward through this process in my life. And as I was leaving the school and I kind of looked up in the sky as I was saying this prayer, I noticed this bald eagle on the pole, kind of across the street from the daycare. And it's this big beautiful bird, and I'm just looking at it on this pole. And I noticed how the cars are driving and people are blowing horns and cutting people off. And I'm just in my own world, staring at this big, beautiful bird up on the pole. And I'm just it's funny how nobody sees this. And so I know that there was a time where I would not have even looked up there. I wouldn't have even been paying attention. I wouldn't see as many hawks and things that I have noticed because I just start paying more attention to everything around me. So that is a sign. You just start looking more, you start paying attention more, you just start looking at your surroundings. Sometimes I just step out in the yard and just look up and just look around, look in the grass. Sometimes I'll just find a feather. It's just, you just start paying attention. You just start noticing that there's so much more around you and then there's signs everywhere. So that's a sign of your third eye opening, paying more attention. Now, number 2 is third eye pressure and headaches. Now, here's the thing with that. When you hear third eye pressure or headaches or what have you, you sometimes, when you hear that, you think there's this intense pressure, this pain in your head and that's not what it is a lot. I'm pretty sure some people do have intense third eye pressure and headaches and stuff. I am a person who very rarely gets headaches. It's a once in a while thing for me. And the third eye pressure for me is very light. I feel it every day. And it feels almost let's say I got a little sticker and you stuck a sticker on my head. That's what it feels like just something's there. It's this very light feeling. Sometimes it feels like something's pulsing, but it's a very light feeling. And at the time that I noticed this, that I was experiencing this and feeling this, I could recall that there were times that I did like this because it just felt like something on my head. So I was just oh my goodness, I have been feeling that for a while, but I didn't even notice it. So when you hear third eye pressure, don't think that it's this pressure, that it's sometimes very light, very unnoticeable. So if you just start paying attention, you might notice that you felt that before, that you may have done this before because it just felt like something was on your head. So it's just all a light touch and sometimes a light little pulsing movement. It's not some intense pressure. Even though I know some people feel that, that's not the case for everybody. I did have a headache in September, I remember, after the full moon. I decided to stay up late that night when it was a full moon. Everybody else went to bed. I wanted to stand outside when the moon, I think it was 12 something in the morning. And I decided to stay out with my crystals and just stand under the moon. The next day, I had a very intense headache, which never happens to me. because I never have headaches. So I know that had something to do with the energy from the moon. I know it had something to do with that because, like I said, I don't get headaches. And it wasn't a coincidence that the night that I stayed up with the full moon, the next day I had like this extreme headache. I mean, it was so bad where I had to just breathe. It was like, okay, I really feel bad for people who experience this all the time because that was painful. And I don't know if that was due to third eye pressure or that was just the crown chakra opening, the energies from the moon. I'm not really sure what it was, but it was a really bad headache. But that's not something I experience often at all. So back to as far as the third eye, it's sometimes really light. So don't think that you're just going to feel this intense pressure. It's sometimes, like I said, it's not even noticeable. So that's one of the signs. The third sign is increased intuition. So a lot of times your intuition will cause you to feel uneasy about certain things, like unsure, just like not comfortable with certain situations, certain people, certain places. And sometimes you feel sure about certain things. You're just like, I know it. This is going to work out. This is a good idea. And somebody else will be like, well, I don't know. Maybe you should take your time with that. But you just feel like, yeah, I know this is right. That is a sign of your intuition increasing because you just feel it and you know it's right. And it's the same thing with feeling uneasy or uncertain about things. Sometimes there may be a person that you feel uncomfortable with and they didn't even do anything to you. So you don't even know why you really feel that way. It's like you're not even sure. And what you try to do sometimes is give yourself a reason why you feel that way. Well, I don't like this, or I didn't like that they did that. And certain things that you probably at one time wouldn't have even paid attention to or even thought twice about. So a lot of times that's your intuition letting you know that this is probably not right for your energy, this place, this person, this situation. A lot of time that's your intuition. And it can be a little tricky sometimes because sometimes it could be fear that you're feeling about things. So you have to be able to learn the difference between whether it's fear that you're feeling about something or whether it's just an uncomfortable feeling and you just know that this place, this thing, this person, or whatever this situation is not right for you. And it takes time learning to work with and figuring it out. Sometimes you have to just talk to yourself, ask yourself some questions. Dang, is this fear? Well, why is it that I feel uncomfortable about this? Am I afraid of this? Or, what is this? You have to ask yourself questions sometimes. Talk to yourself and try to figure out why you're feeling the way that you feel. But a lot of times that is your intuition. And with time, you learn to trust it. You learn to see the difference between your intuition and between fear. And that's definitely one of the signs. That was sign 3 of a third eye awakening. Number 4, changes in the way you think. I'm distracted because this is like really pretty butterfly flying around here. Anyway, number 4, changes in the way you think. Changes in who you are. Like the way you think might be different than it used to be, and you realize the way you think about things is not working for you anymore. The way you used to think about things, you may start questioning a lot of things. If you grew up religious, you may start having a lot of questions about that. You may be just like unsure about this whole life, about the world, the sun, the moon. What does this all mean? You just start thinking more things that you just didn't think about in the past. You realize that it doesn't work for you anymore. The way you used to think, the way you used to be. You probably care less about what people think, which definitely is one of the cases with me. There was a time when I wouldn't be dare making this video talking about the third eye and awakenings and Kundalini energy. And, I wouldn't talk about that because it was not that I wanted to fit in all the time. I didn't mind being a little different, but I didn't want to be too different. It was almost like, I don't want that. I don't want that type of attention. So let me kind of like stay, a little bit here. Don't go too far with my thoughts and stuff like that. But now, I really don't care. I mean, I care, right? I care what people think in a way, but not to the point where I'm not going to follow my own thoughts and express my thoughts and share what I feel. Not to the point that I'm going to hide that. I'm to the point now where, hey, listen, if you think I'm crazy and you don't like what I'm saying, bye, There's most likely going to be other people that are going to enter my life, people that are the right people for me to be around, because I am genuinely being who I am and sharing everything that I'm experiencing. So as far as changes in the way you think, changes in just changes. You may not want to be around certain people because you don't want to have these conversations that you used to have. You're not enjoying the thought process that you used to have when it came down to these conversations about things that are just like pointless to you. And it just you kind of are uncomfortable at the thought of having to sit around people and talk about things that are just not important to you. Things that don't mean anything to you. So that's you're just changing. Changes in the way you think, changes in the things that you do, the way you are. That's definitely a sign that your third eye is opening. And number 5, changes in your diet. Now, here's the thing. For me, I've always eaten healthy, not super healthy. I would eat cakes and, cookies and stuff like that. But I would eat vegetables, and usually that would be with dinner. I would saute, steam, stew, broccoli and carrots and, mushroom, all different kind of vegetables, and I would stew them, and kind of like that would be a side, would be good to go along with dinner. But what I realized is that months and months ago, I just started craving raw vegetables, raw broccoli, raw carrots, raw celery, with a little dressing on it and stuff. But I just crave it and I enjoy it so much. We're having movie night with the girls, and they have popcorn, and I got me a big plate of celery and broccoli and carrots, and that's my snack. I'm just enjoying it. Like, I'm really craving it. And I didn't notice it until I started paying more attention to all of these signs of a third eye awakening and the changes in diet. And I'm like, okay, that did change. I never used to just want raw broccoli as a snack and raw carrots and stuff. Like I said, I always steamed it and ate it with my food. I never wanted to eat that like as a snack in the middle of the day. Now it's just like, it's just heaven to me. I just love it. So a lot of you might experience that, where your diet is changing. You're just craving different things. And you know what? I know that they like to say that you start craving healthier food, lighter food, and stuff like that. That's not always the case. Sometimes you may crave stuff that's not healthy at all. You may have been someone who ate healthy all the time, and then now you're craving junk, And, there's really no real explanation for why you are craving that. You may just be, maybe you need something to ground you a little more. I don't know. There's lots of different reasons why you just start craving different things, and you have to figure that out for, about your own body on your own, and everybody can't really tell you exactly why you're craving certain things, but it's changes in the diet, just craving different things. That is definitely a sign that you are going through some changes. Your third eye is opening. Your body just needs different things. So that's definitely one of the signs, or the 5th sign that I'm giving you. So that's pretty much 5 signs that I'm giving you as far as the awakening of your third eye. Aside from that, there are many crystals that you can use to help open your third eye. And I know a lot of people don't really believe in crystals like that. They don't really think they work. Just like, that's just a rock. It's like no big deal to some people. But let me break a little something down for you. You know how there are plants and foods and certain things that grow from the earth that actually are like medicine, that actually will heal you from sickness and things like that? That's the same thing with the crystals. Same thing. Crystals are like the earth's DNA. Crystals were created as the earth formed, and they hold like memory and storage of the earth's development over millions of years. A lot of them grew like deep down underground is how they grow, and they have been subjected to a lot of pressure, and they're very powerful. They're very powerful. And a lot of people just don't believe in it, but I'm just breaking it down. It's just like the other things that grow from this earth that actually heal you. And you know how you eat some food or you eat something to get better, you know, it makes you feel better, but it doesn't cure anything like immediately. It's the same thing with crystals. You use them regularly. You wear them regularly. You sleep with them near your bed, under your pillow, things like that. You incorporate them into your life, and they do work. So I just want to go ahead and share that with you guys. I'll give you a few of them for you. Amethyst is good for the third eye. Sodalite, Labradorite, and Moonstone. And also, clear quartz is a crystal that actually, it awakens all of the chakras. And it kind of like charges the energy of all of your other crystals. So that's also a great one to use as well. So that's pretty much all I wanted to say in this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If so, please go ahead and like and subscribe and share and all that good stuff. And before I go, I just want to let you know that everything is happening in your life right now, how it's supposed to, when it's supposed to, and you are aligned. Even though I know sometimes it may feel tough, seem like it's really tough at certain times, it's a part of the process, and you are growing through it. And just stay strong and keep on going. And until next time, peace and blessings.